to go. We are in India. And now I'm home, here to guide you on your Golden Triangle road trip. We did quite a lot of research on Indian trains, and it seems to be the most common mode of transport for travellers. However, we spent the entirety of our first day trying to book a train, only to find out that they were all sold out. So my first tip is to book your trains a month in advance. Or you can book a private driver so you don't risk delays, losing your seat. Trains are like a bidding system in India, so this could happen. It's also really common for the trains to break down a lot. So even though we didn't go on the trains, I know a lot of people have, but maybe they're just the lucky ones. I don't know. Maybe a car is the better option, or I would like to say that the car is a better option just to make myself feel better for us not being very organised around the train system. Yesterday was horrific. We were in Delhi for one day. We were spent all day trying to figure out our train to get to Jaipur, which is where we are today. And in the end, all the trains were fully booked because the population in India is one of the biggest in the world, so everybody's getting on the trains. And so instead we've got a car and we're gonna do the Golden Triangle with a driver. I didn't choose this outfit, the receptionist did. The Golden Triangle route begins in Delhi, but I'll come back to my recommendations for Delhi later. I want to start in Jaipur, where the main adventure begins. After a 6-hour drive, first we went to the Palace of Winds. It's unique because it's built from many small windows and balconies. It was intended to allow royal women to peer at the people on the street below, but so that they couldn't see in. Basically, it's an architectural marvel for women to spy on men. It's also built from pink and red sandstone to blend in with the rest of the city, the Pink City. In 1876, to welcome Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, the city was painted pink, representing the colour of hospitality. But I think they could only find pink paint and gave it this thoughtful meaning afterwards. I really loved visiting this palace, and I'd really recommend paying the small fee to go inside. Then it was dinner time, and in order to protect our stomachs, we only ate at middle-range restaurants. No street food, but still experiencing the local cuisine. In most cities in India, you'll find family restaurants. It literally says family restaurants in front. We liked these as they were very popular among locals, but they looked hygienic too. In this video, I'll be recommending a few of the restaurants we ate at. We didn't have any issues with our stomach. However, everybody is different, so don't take my word as gospel. There wasn't too many options for vegetarians in this restaurant. However, in the majority of India, it's one of the easiest places to be vegetarian. Food was still delicious, and we discovered this mouth refresher that they give you after meals. It's made from fennel seeds and sugar. It tastes like licorice, which I really don't like, but here's a clip of us trying them. You just saw it. Yeah. You have to. Is that loads?
Not me. It's not too much. Right?
Yeah. Then, because the staff took so much amusement from us trying the fennel and sugar, they decided to give us a free dessert to try. Yeah, so my mum nibbled a tiny bit while I stuffed the whole thing in with confidence, to my regret, because it was absolutely disgusting. I would never dare to spit food out, especially not in front of the kind people that have given it to me, but I really could not commit to eating whatever the hell that was. If you're given a dark green leaf in a triangular shape that's all wrapped up, just don't eat it. Or do, but know that it's not going to be nice. The next day we went to Amber Fort, which is the main attraction in Jaipur. It was pouring down with rain during our visit. We were there in January, so there was a bit of rain every now and then, but we still enjoyed it for a few hours, and everywhere that you go in India, the entry fee is always really cheap, so it's not a big deal even if it does rain.
Oh, let's good gosh, strength there, girl. Fabaroonie.
This was a Roman bath that I was sitting in, and it was really funny because I was just chilling there, avoiding the rain, and then one by one, all these Indians were coming, sitting next to me in the bath, taking photos with me. It was so funny. It happens all the time, but not in a way that I've experienced in any other country. In China, they do it, but they're very controlled and patient and calm, whereas in India, they're just grabbing you, chasing you. It's really like you're a famous person, more than any other place that I've experienced. And of course, it was enjoyable sometimes. It was fun to meet the locals in a very excitable way. But at the same time, sometimes it was really difficult and annoying. But not in these clips. Hello! Hello! Wow! Look at all my friends!
Welcome.
Thank you! It was fun playing around in a fort, but I could imagine it to be really beautiful on a sunny day. To take a break from the storm, we went to a carpet factory where they take 2 years to build one carpet. They sell them to places like Harrods in London and they're worth thousands. But honestly, I'm a bit skeptical of how truthful this is. Sometimes I wonder if it's all just a big marketing scheme to get you to buy something, which did end up happening in the end, but I get it. It's fine. It was still a cool experience.
Now you see how light it is.
That is beautiful.
Oh, that is so nice. I don't think I've ever felt carpet that good in my life.
No.
No,
Nice. No. Ready? Oh, with a foot. Yes.
Tree of life, trees, birds and animals.
Okay, yeah.
nothing will come out. No. More you walk, more luster, pile gets polished. Colors and design will enhance. You can see the detail and the beauty of carpet when you walk on the carpet.
So nice.
And if you spill tea, coffee on these carpets, for that you can use fresh lemon juice. Salt.
When the rain stopped, we decided to go back to Amber Fort, but instead of going in the fort itself, we took a trail around it to a different fort, to a lesser known fort, which I actually think was a lot cooler. You still pay a small entry fee to enter, but not a lot of people know about it, and it's quite a steep, difficult walk to climb. It was called Jagar Fort. I think that's how you say it. Jagar. This fort actually hosts the world's biggest cannon, which is super cool. And I actually thought this fort looked much more impressive. Another tip for you though, don't trust anyone. It's a really sad thing to say, but it's true. In India, it's really rare to find people that are being kind for the sake of being kind. They're always looking for money, which again, is totally understandable. I completely understand the differences in our economy, but you don't want to get yourself into a sticky situation for not knowing this. For example, when we were at the cannon, there was this really sweet old man. He must have been about 70 years old. And he just randomly decided to translate the Indian plaques for us so we could understand some information about the canon. And then he was showing us around a little bit. We had a nice conversation with him. Really didn't expect him to be somebody out for money. And afterwards, he asked for cash. I said I didn't have any. And then he even had the cheek to get up a QR code for me to scan to Google Pay him. I didn't even know that Google Pay was a thing. If you did that for every single person in India, you would come out completely broke. Heritage houses are a unique accommodation that the royal family used to stay in. They're traditional and nicer than most of your average hotels in India, but still at a cheap price. They reminded me of the riads in Morocco. The next day we drove to Agra, where the Taj Mahal is. It was another 6-hour journey. To be honest, the long journeys between all the stops on the Golden Triangle are not very interesting. It's just motorways and there's really nothing around you. Obviously, it's still a cool experience to do it, but I would take a book or something to entertain yourself because you probably will get bored of looking out the window after about 10 minutes. The petrol station was a cool experience though.
Such a social event here. Don't just put your petrol in your car and get out and chat with your gang, catch up, and then off we go.
Ready to go? When filling up fuel in India, all the passengers have to get out of the car for safety reasons. And they also have swings on the side of the motorway. I mean, come on, it's so fun. Everybody gets out their cars, they're chatting, catching up with their mates, filling up their fuel. We should make petrol stations a sociable space as well. That was Gyarasidi Park. Again, I need to write the name down. It's a great viewing point to see the Taj Mahal, and it's a very quiet spot, and I think you can take some very cool photos from there. Again, you will have to pay a tiny fee to go into the park, but I think there's a valuable reason for this one as well, because outside of the park is a very dangerous area. Unfortunately, there's just fields and fields of families living under handmade tents. They're all sort of naked, making fires. There's just the most extreme poverty I've ever seen. So you pay to enter the park to make sure that you're not going to get harmed. And I don't know how I feel about that. It seems wrong that I have the privilege of paying an entry fee just to get photos with a pretty building, while on the outside of the gates, there's all these homeless people. But hopefully that money helps them in some way. That evening we went out for dinner to a restaurant that serves Indian street village food, but in a really bougie way. It was so cool. It's a way to experience the local cuisine and the street food that we were missing out on because we were scared of Delhi belly, but in a safe, comfortable, really nice environment. I'm not going to share too much about it though, because you're going to have to follow me on Instagram at Raya's Rucksack to see that. All in or half?
Yes. Yeah, full in, half your choice.
The Taj Mahal is obviously the biggest reason people visit India. And I can totally understand why. I don't think I need to spend a lot of time talking about the Taj Mahal as there's so much information online about it. However, I would recommend paying the extra fee to go inside the mausoleum, as I think it's totally worth it. It's stunning in there, and you're probably only going to visit the Taj Mahal once in your life, so make the most of it. I also think we hacked the system in terms of the best time to visit. Everybody was saying between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. when the sun's rising, which I get because it would make for beautiful pictures. But most of the time, India is a very smoggy place and it's hard to see just a few meters in front of you. Maybe this was just the time of year I was there, but the fog was really not great. We went at around 10 a.m., which I think is the middle point between the early risers who want to be there alone. Yeah, I'm not sure they would be alone because everybody's telling them to go at this time. And you also miss the people that are arriving at like 12 p.m. who maybe have travelled from other parts of India, the locals, etc. There's also a window between the tickets, so I think one is like 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then you buy a new ticket 12 p.m. until maybe 3 p.m. or 6 p.m. I can't remember exactly. But there's basically, you can either go in the morning or the afternoon. So obviously if you go at like 10 a.m, you're skipping the morning rush and you're skipping the 12 p.m. rush of the people with their new tickets, if that makes sense at all. At this point, I thought I would be bored of forts, but we did go to Agra Fort. And I think it's actually really fun walking around them, imagining what life was like for people living there back then. But if you are short on time, I would probably skip this fort. Right, we're almost done. Let's get back to Delhi recommendations now. We found Delhi quite stressful. Maybe we just weren't there long enough. We were always there for travel days. So as we landed in India, between the Golden Triangle to then go to Goa, and then after Goa, one night before flying home. So it was always very short. This might be the reason we didn't fully enjoy it. Everybody told me that Delhi would be a big culture shock, but I guess the amount of traveling I've done, especially to places like Sri Lanka, Thailand, Egypt, I felt quite confident in the fact that I didn't think I could be shocked culturally anymore. But turns out I still can. India was another world. I've never been to such a chaotic place. The traffic was crazier than Cairo. There's cow poo everywhere. There's cows, obviously, because they're pooing. There's children that were hanging on to my jeans, and with every step I took, they were just clinging on. It was horrible. I really didn't know how to walk around and feel comfortable there. There was some people walking around with guns or batons and just all kinds of crazy stuff going on. It blew my mind. Oh. No, Mum. I'm not. Oh my God. Okay, okay. Mum. I'm terrible. That was an example of us trying to cross the road in Delhi. I'm a really nervous road crosser anyway. I'm probably the most hesitant person you'll ever meet on roads, even in England. So yeah, I might have cried a little bit crossing this street. Anyway, my favourite sight in Delhi was Gandhi's house. You could see his bedroom, and they even carved out the last few steps that he took to his prayer space, which were the last moments before he was shot. It was really moving and really effectively portrayed. I don't think I've ever been to a museum that's really impacted me that much. I'm not going to share too much on Gandhi's house because I think it's one of those things that you should go and experience for yourself. There was a ticket desk there, but we didn't pay. We walked straight past. All the staff looked at us, but they didn't say anything. And we kind of hesitated and they let us in. So maybe on this day or this hour, we didn't have to pay, or maybe they just liked our faces. I don't know. Maybe you pay, maybe you don't. That was Punjab Grill. It was delicious, but it does match UK prices. Jampath is a popular area in Delhi for all the best restaurants and maybe nightlife too. But yeah, this is a road that is really known for people to go and eat there. And to be honest, all the other clips that I'm going to show you now are some other things that you can do in Delhi, but I didn't find it particularly impressive. I'm just going to do a little carousel of clips, and you can make your own judgments. I don't think I need to get into the politics or economics of my tourist privileges, but the latter clips sum up Delhi pretty well. At least the side of Delhi that we explored, but this is just one woman's experience after all. Looking back, I do wonder if a group trip or a guided tour would have been the best idea, just because India is such a chaotic place and it's very hard to organize things. So I think maybe my experience would have been better with a guide. However, as I mentioned, with things like the Taj Mahal, it really bothers me when you're limited to timings. You have to wait around for other people. You have to do things you don't particularly want to do. You might miss out on things that you do want to do that's not on the itinerary. So it's a difficult balance. But honestly, I've felt safer in Rio de Janeiro, where I got mugged. I've felt calmer in the chaos of Cairo's traffic, and I felt happier in Sri Lanka, which I would describe as India's better looking sister. It was an eye-opening trip, which I'm still trying to process the good and bad of. If you have any questions or want to share your experience in India, then please drop a comment below. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.